What's up, everybody? Billy Briz back at it again with the Week 5 NFL Draftkings and Fanduel Top Stacks video. Make sure you check out Talking Hands podcast over on Pub Sports Radio, where this video is presented by Pub Sports Radio. Let's get right into this slate. Make sure you follow me over on Twitter at Getting Bills. First things first, I want to talk about the top stacks of the slate. A lot of people are going to go to this Dallas Giants game, and deservedly so. Dallas has been in absolute shootouts of recent. Dak Prescott, $7,400 is a good price tag for GPPs. I think Zeke is going to be one of the chalkiest players on the slate at $7,800. This price tag does not make sense. He's been playing pretty well despite the game scripts of recent. Even I think his FanDuel price tag is a little bit more reflective of how he's been playing. Amari Cooper, all these players are viable plays in tournaments. And then let's look at the Giants side. I do like Darius Slayton and Evan Ingram, obviously, just like everybody else. However, I think I'm going to be fading Daniel Jones. I really don't like Daniel Jones as a quarterback. I don't think it really matters, though, because the Dallas's defense is so bad. It doesn't really matter if you like Daniel Jones or not. I still think he grades out as a good play. But the game that I really want to target this week is the Carolina-Atlanta game. If you have flashbacks of one of Atlanta's best games was against Carolina, so I kind of have a bias towards that, and I really want to stack this game. The two quarterbacks in this game, Teddy Bridgewater, I think he makes for a really good DraftKings value pricing for cash games, and he has GPP upside with his receivers going to be very chalky with Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. Teddy Bridgewater at $5,900 is a really good price tag. What's up, Razor Sharp Picks? He's been on an absolute streak. Make sure you follow Razor Sharp Picks over on Twitter. And going down a little bit, I really do like Matt Ryan on the other side. I think he's going to be a little bit lower owned than where he should be at because of his last two stinkers against Green Bay and Chicago. But as you saw against Dallas and Seattle, it's more reflective of what we have seen from Matt Ryan. He always has that 300-yard bonus upside on DraftKings at $6,100. I really do like pairing him up with some of his receivers. His receivers, though, it would be interesting to see if Julio Jones is going to be playing or not. He was listed as questionable for this slate. If he is out, though, I really do like Olamide Zaccheaus. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but at $3,000, I think he makes for great game stack value at $3,000. He's been honestly outplaying Russell Gage of recent these last couple of weeks. I think Russell Gage is going to garner a little bit of ownership because a lot of people are going to want to get parts of this Carolina-Atlanta game. So I think I'm going to go with Zaccheaus at $3,000. A lot of people are probably going to be on that later on in the week if Julio is ruled out. Carolina, on the other hand, though, Mike Davis at $6,400 looks like to be one of the best values of the slate. But on the wide receiver side, it would be interesting to see who or people are going to pick between DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. That's the big question this weekend. Are you picking Robbie Anderson or are you picking DJ Moore? Anderson has looked better, but DJ Moore is definitely due for a bounce back day pretty soon. One of the other stacks that I'm looking at for this weekend is the Jacksonville Jaguars and Houston Texans game. This game is very juicy. I do like Deshaun Watson at $6,900. He's grading out as good value for me this week. He showed a glimpse of his upside last week against Minnesota. He hit the 300-yard mark pretty late in the game. That last drive kind of boosted his ceiling a little bit, but he still hasn't had a full ceiling game yet this year. So I do like him against Jacksonville. I think David Johnson's going to garner some ownership also as well at $5,200. That price tag is a little bit too cheap for the usage that he's been seeing this year. James Robinson, though, is going to be one of the main targets. I think he's a better target on FanDuel than DraftKings, but $6,700, James Robinson, he's been killing in the passing game, and that's where the Texans have really struggled on defenses guarding receiving backs. So the receiver position, no, I really do like the receivers in this game. I think Brandon Cooks is going to come at very low ownership as he burned everybody last week with 3 targets for 0 receptions. Going up a little bit, Laviska Shenault makes for a solid GPP play. He is a gadget type of player. He gets used. He gets a couple of rushing attempts a game, and he has seen at least 3 targets in every game so far, and 5 the last couple of weeks. So Laviska Shenault in this game script could definitely pop in some GPPs. DJ Chark also as well. I think I kind of want to shy away from that price tag because Will Fuller's right there at $6,600. Will Fuller's been some like crazy to say, but Will Fuller's been very consistent this year. Usually he isn't consistent because of his injury history. Week 2 shied away a lot of owners for week 3 and week 4, but been hitting the 100-yard mark in 2 out of the 4 games so far this season, and a touchdown in 2 out of the 4 games so far too. And besides that week 2 game against Baltimore, he's been playing very well, been very consistent. So I definitely do like this Jacksonville Houston game as one of my main stacks this weekend. And then one of my off the radar stacks, I should say, not really a stack. One of the games I'm looking for value for one-offs is this Cleveland and Indianapolis Colts game. If you're fading Mike Davis or one of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think Kareem Hunt is a really good play at $6,500. Kareem Hunt should get all the usage this week with Nick Chubb going on the IR. Him and Dearness Johnson are going to be the main running backs for the Cleveland Browns. Go in the chat real quick. What's up? Don't ask, don't tell. Houston's about to open up that offense, I believe. Yeah, I also agree with that as well. Deshaun Watson's one of my highest owned quarterbacks this week. And what's up, Benjamin Martin? For wide receivers, though, I do like the value of Zach Pascal at $4,600. He's been, since Paris Campbell hit the IR, Zach Pascal has been pretty consistent for his usage so far. Not really a lot of receptions, but enough targets where I feel comfortable playing him at $4,600 in GPPs. Going at the tight end position this week, I think I want to pay up at the tight end position this week. There's not a lot of values with the postponed games. It's kind of a little bit murky of a situation at the tight end position, but my favorite tight ends this week is Travis Kelce at $6,400. I think he has a really safe floor this week against the Las Vegas Raiders. Also, I do like Darren Waller on the other side of the ball. I think he makes for good game stacks because Darren Waller should be the leading receiver on this team by a significant margin, but with Henry Ruggs coming back, maybe some people might shy away from Darren Waller. Also, if you're getting a little bit ugly and a little bit cheaper, Evan Ingram's probably going to be one of the chalkiest tight ends this week. I left out Darius Slayton when I talked about the Dallas Giants stack game, but Evan Ingram and Darius Slayton are going to be the 2 most popular plays from that side of the ball. Also going down a little bit more, Hayden Hurst definitely, like Benjamin Martin said, for the stack of the Atlanta-Carolina game. I really do like Hayden Hurst this week. He graded out as a really good play for me. And also an ugly name. I know an ugly name, but all he does is catch touchdowns. And at $4,000, that's all you really need for him to do against this porous Eagles defense who's been sucking at guard and tight ends this season. I do like Eric Ebron this week. He's been seeing pretty consistent usage. Big Ben often likes to target his tight ends. That's always been the narrative. So Eric Ebron has been pretty consistent this year, and I think at $4,000, he can give you some leverage and a cheap value play this week. Also, Deontay Johnson's looking like he's trending the right direction. I do like him for cash games and GPPs this week. Let's head over to Fanduel this week. This is what I'm really kind of sticking towards my core of Fanduel this week. As you can see, Deshaun Watson at $7,900, the 2 running backs that I talked about on Draftkings are going to be the highest owned. Ezekiel Elliott and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Will Fuller, and then I went with I think Michael Gallup is going to be the cheapest owned Dallas Cowboys wide receiver. And if you're stacking that game, I think he can give you some leverage. Somewhat of a boom bust wide receiver, but you just got to hope for the boom weeks, right? And Deontay Johnson's in this lineup with Darren Waller, Mike Davis, and Dallas's defense. I don't have any special defensive picks for you this week. Defense is looking real ugly. I think you just want to get ownership to a bunch of different defenses and hope that one hits. If you have questions or start-sit questions for the week, put them in the comment section below. Make sure you like the video. Last thing, make sure you check out Talking Hands podcast. They're going over the UFC card for this weekend. There's a lot of fights on this card, a lot of money to be made. So make sure you check them out. And if you have any questions, you can hit me up over on Twitter at Getting Bills. I'm coming out with a new video, I think, in this upcoming week of just going head to head against somebody so people can get a better perspective of the plays that we're really looking at for week by week. Benjamin Martin, you also are hitting the ball on the market. Clyde also as well. Cowboys D, especially on Fanduel. I don't know how they're $3,500 on Fanduel. And Cup and Lamb. I like Cooper more around that price tag. I kind of don't like the Rams this week. It's kind of an ugly game script with them and the Redskins. I can show you this before I head out. These are kind of like the highest point total teams of the week. You see the Chiefs are there at number 1. Number 2 is the Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson is going to be a good GPP play this week because with him being on the injury report these last couple of days, people might shy away from that. And he's a good pivot for paying up at that position. And then you see Dallas is rightfully so there at 31 point total. And San Francisco, it would be interesting to see what you can do there. I think George Kittle could be a good pay up tight end. And I don't know if I'm taking a shot with Rex Burkhead in the flex for cheap. I kind of like Damian Harris a little bit more. But if you have any other questions, make sure you hit me over on Twitter at Getting Bills. Have a nice night and get ready for the fantasy upcoming week. Make sure you check out those different news blurbs because with COVID, you don't ever know who's going to be in or out this week. So for your season-long teams, make sure you always have backup options and contingency plans. Peace out, guys.